Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. I'm Milena.kosak and I'm here to support you through your grieving process. I'm here to guide you and I'm here to support you. So please post questions below because I'm more than happy to answer them, and perhaps I can do video about your questions so that I would explain things more clearly. Today's topics is very important, and that is depression. You know, depression is very common when you're going through a grieving process, when you're experiencing the loss of someone you love so much, especially your child. Depression is something that can easily creep onto you, and you feel like being depressed and out of energy. But how to recognize those signs? I'm giving you 4 signs of depression and how to climb up again out of depression. Well, the first sign that something is probably happening is you start to isolate yourself. You know, after the funeral, perhaps some people, some friends, some family members are still with you, but you tend to notice that they're less and less supportive, less with you. They expect of you to move on, this famous moving on, you know. They're expecting you to, continue your life, but you don't know how to do it. And you feel offended and you feel hurt because you are hurting and you need help, and they don't understand that you need help because they don't know how to help you. Because this grieving process, this is something that you go through, and what they are going through is something totally different, and perhaps they really don't understand you. They don't do it to hurt you, but they just don't know how to help you. So you are starting to isolate yourself because you don't want to be around people who are constantly remind you, you have to move forward. Well, you are young, you can have another child. Like if another child can replace the first one. Or perhaps they stop talking about the person who has passed on, or they stop talking about your child, and you feel like, oh my God, they're trying to forget him or her. Well, let me tell you, they're not trying to forget him or her. They just think that if they don't mention that, it will hurt less, but it is quite the opposite. So you are starting to isolating, and that is the first sign, because all of a suddenly you don't have any more friends or family who you feel comfortable of talking with. And if you're lucky, at least some of your family and friends you still keep and you can have these conversations with. So it is first sign, isolating yourself. Then there is a second sign, and that is you tend to either overeat or you tend to reject food. Well, if you overeat, that means you are eating down emotions. You're eating in emotions. You're trying to bottle in emotions into your body. And the result is, of course, gaining weight, because every time the emotions wants to come out and be expressed, you are so subconsciously afraid of them, you start to feel yourself so that you are disturbed all the time, and you start eating and eating and eating because you don't want to face those emotions. Perhaps you don't even know how to face those emotions, and you're eating and eating and eating. And it's actually like a disturbing thing. So you are disturbing yourself from the thoughts that are inside of you and the emotions that are inside of you. So I mentioned either you're eating too much or you are rejecting eating, which is very similar. The result is you are not gaining, but you're losing weight. And that is because you are actually rejecting living. And that is both is actually when you eat too much, you eat too not enough. So you eat less, you reject eating. It means you are screaming for help. It's like your body is screaming for help because you, on the other hand, cannot express it out loud, or you cannot express your feelings, you cannot express it, or you have no one that you feel that can understand you, that can help you. And this is like rejecting life itself, probably because in the back of your head there are like thoughts like, why did my son, my daughter died? why didn't I die? Because I want to die. I don't want to live anymore. And that is clear second sign of depression, that you're going into the depression, like downward spiral into the depression, when you're rejecting eating. And it is a wake up and screaming call for help. And then there's a third sign. You tend to have less and less and less and less energy. It's like, oh my God, even standing, even getting out of bed in the morning, it's a struggle. And when you think ahead what is waiting for you, you just want to crawl back into bed and just sleep over the whole day, and then the whole night, and then the whole day, and the cycle repeats. You have no energy of whatsoever left to live again. You're struggling to get out of bed. You're struggling even to have a shower because you feel like exhausted, like, I need a shower now. I don't want to shower anymore. I don't want to eat, or I just want to sleep. Just everybody just leave me alone. And that is a clear sign of depression. This is a really, really serious one, because you don't have any energy left. And if people say, well, you have to go out, you have to communicate, you have to do something. Yeah, well, as if you have energy to do that. That's not it, because you are in such a downward spiral of energy that doing this shift is so difficult. It's so hard, and you cannot just switch the button and say, okay, let's do it now. I'm fine. I have a lot of energy. It's a process, but it can be done. It's a process. So this is the third one, and the fourth one is besides of being isolated, because when you are isolated, you can be isolated and still go to work and still do all the tasks, but you're isolated with no friends, no family, no one to talk your deep emotions to. And the fourth one is even more serious. You are locking yourself in, like in the way you don't go to work anymore, you don't go to the store anymore, you don't go out anymore. You lock yourself in, and this is it's a deeper state of isolation, because you isolate yourself from the outside world. In the first case, you isolate yourself from the friends, from the family, but you still go to the work, you can still go to the store, you can still take care of your children. But in this fourth case, this is a very serious one, you have no power, no energy to even step out of the house. So these are the four clear signs of getting into depression. Now, how can you get out of them? Well, by step. First and most important one is you have to find someone to talk to. Someone who will understand you, who will support you, who will be there with you, not to judge you, not to tell you what to do, just there with you and to help you obtain little goals, And when you're feeling isolated, like in the first goal is, to start opening up a little bit with some former friends or create new friends. I didn't say it's going to be easy, but it's going to be like little steps at the time, And the first one is, please find someone who is going to be there for you, to understand you, to cheer you up, and to help you through this process. And if you can trust your family member or your friends, if you don't have any family members or friends, please try and find a therapist that you can trust. This is such an important topic. I will do a separate video on that, how to find a good therapist that you can trust, because some therapists, in my experience, can do you more harm than good. I'm sadly to say that, but it is true. And I will give you some tips and guidance of how to find a good therapist that will work for you. That doesn't mean that the therapists are bad, but they just don't work for you. So how to find someone who works for you. Find a therapist that you can trust and start doing little steps, like forming friends, calling old friend and go to a coffee. You are going to force yourself. It's not going to be easy, but force yourself. When you are dealing with eating disorders, eating issues, you have to find a therapist who will help you cope with all those feelings, so that you won't need to eat them up or reject food. So you have to find a way how to release those feelings. And how are you going to do that? You are going to find a group or a person who will help you and guide you, so that you will be safe, you will feel safe to express your feelings, how you feel, why you feel that way, without judgment. That is the key, without judgment. And the third one, when you're in a lack of energy, actually what gives you energy is activeness, being active. And I know this is a hard one, because when you are down, when you are without energy, believe me, you cannot be active. But still, you need a friend, you need a buddy who will just, pull you out, at least for a few minutes, like go out for 5 minutes. And first you just sit on the bench outside. That's it. And that is your week goal. And you can write it down and you say, okay, this week I'm going to sit outside for 5 minutes. I know it sounds crazy, and for a person who is normal, who is living normal life, sounds like, oh, what is she talking about? That's total bullshit. That's crazy. But believe me, it's not crazy. There are small steps to achieve the bigger goals. And this first step is sitting outside for 5 minutes, then going on a walk. Next week, you're going on a walk for 5 minutes, nothing more. Don't make your goals too big, because you cannot achieve them, and then you're going in deeper into the depression. But the key for all 4 things is you need someone who you can trust, who is capable of helping you and cheering you without judgment and smart advices. Okay, that is the crucial thing. Okay, if you need any further explanation of this, I'm more than happy to do a video to further explain all those steps, but I wanted to make them short so that you can at least have some guidance of it. Well, that's about it for today, and hopefully you are going on the upward spiral out of depression. And believe me, it's not something that you should be ashamed of. It's not something that you should feel, oh my God, I'm so stupid to be like this. It's not something that you should criticize yourself even more, because the negative thoughts are very, very active during this, are active even more during this phase when you are in depression. So believe me, it's something natural, it's not something odd, and you can go out of depression and you can build your life again. Trust me, you can do it, but it takes a little step by step at a time. So thank you for watching today, and I'll see you next week with the next topic. Bye.